To the modern eye, Zanzichans presents a perfectly preserved portrait of a bygone era, a tranquil postcard from the Dutch Golden Age, with its iconic green timbered houses and gently rotating sails. Yet, this idyllic scene, so carefully curated for visitors, belies its profoundly revolutionary past. This was not a quiet pastoral hamlet, but arguably the world's first major industrial zone, a powerhouse of innovation and production, where over 600 windmills once stood shoulder to shoulder in a dense forest of timber and canvas along the River Zayan. Each was a specialized factory, a marvel of pre-electrical engineering, harnessing the wind for a specific, demanding task. Some were colossal sawmills, their blades relentlessly slicing Scandinavian timber into planks for the burgeoning Dutch naval and merchant fleets. Others were dedicated to crushing seeds for oil, grinding exotic spices from distant colonies, pounding fibers into paper, or pulverizing the vibrant pigments that would later grace the canvases of Dutch masters. The air here would not have been silent, but filled with a cacophony of whirring gears and rhythmic sawing, a testament to the raw power that fueled an empire. What stands today is a beautiful echo, a living museum where the thunderous heartbeat of Dutch industry has softened to a gentle whisper. The canals of Bruges seem almost too perfect, a deliberate stage set. But they are not merely decorative. They are the ghost of a once mighty artery. In the city's golden age, from the 12th to the 15th century, these waterways were part of a complex network connected to the Zwin, a tidal inlet that gave Bruges direct access to the North Sea. This wasn't just a river city. It was, for all intents and purposes, a seaport, some 80 kilometers from the coast. This vital connection is the secret to understanding everything you see here. The opulent guild halls, the crow-stepped gables of merchant houses, the very cobblestones underfoot, all were paid for by the wool, cloth, and spices that flowed through this marine lifeline. Bruges wasn't just on the water, it was of the water, a commercial powerhouse built on a fragile, shifting link to the world. And when the Zwin inevitably silted up in the late 15th century, the city's pulse slowed. The world's trade moved on, leaving Bruges to slumber, its medieval heart perfectly and perhaps miraculously preserved for us to witness today. Krakow's heart, the Rynek Główny, pulses with a rhythm that has echoed for centuries. At first glance, it is simply one of Europe's grandest medieval squares, but its scale is no accident of history. It is a direct and defiant answer to catastrophe. After the original city was annihilated by the Mongol invasion in 1241, Kraków was reborn with a charter that laid out this immense 10-acre public space at its core. From here, a rational grid of streets was designed to foster commerce and order, a masterclass in 13th century urban planning. Today, the magnificent Renaissance Cloth Hall stands at its center, a direct descendant of the original trading stalls, while the uneven spires of St. Mary's Basilica watch over the proceedings. This square was not merely built, it was engineered as a stage for the city's enduring spirit, a space where the deep past is not a relic to be observed, but the very foundation upon which contemporary life unfolds. What first strikes you in Giethorn is the profound quiet, a silence born from the complete absence of roads. This serene water world was not, however, conceived as an idyllic retreat. It is an accidental landscape sculpted by centuries of grueling labor. When the first settlers arrived in the 13th century, they found a marshland littered with the horns of wild goats, giving the village its name, Geitenhoren. To make a living, they began excavating the rich peat deposits for fuel. This relentless digging carved out the very fabric of the village. The long trenches they dug became the canals, and the cavernous pits where peat was dredged became the lakes. The narrow strips of land left between were just wide enough to build the iconic thatched roof farmhouses. The entire network, now a playground for silent electric boats, was once a purely industrial system, designed for one purpose: to transport blocks of peat on flat-bottomed boats. It stands today as a living monument. The name Abydos derives from the Latin oppidum, a testament to its ancient role as a fortified citadel, but its story is defined less by war than by romance. In the year 1282, King Dinas I presented this entire walled town to his new bride, Queen Isabel of Aragon, as a wedding gift. This act initiated a tradition that would last for nearly 6 centuries, as Óbidos became the personal property of Portugal's queens, the Vila das Rainhas. This royal patronage is the very reason for its immaculate preservation. It wasn't merely a strategic outpost, but a cherished jewel, consistently endowed and protected. Every whitewashed house, every cascade of bougainvillea over a Gothic doorway is a direct legacy of this unique heritage. To wander its narrow, cobbled lanes is to do more than visit a historic site. It is to step inside a living dowry, a perfectly preserved piece of the medieval world, safeguarded through the ages by the affection of queens. To stand on a hill in Berlin is to experience a geographical anomaly. The city itself rests within the vast, flat expanse of the North European plain, a landscape carved by ancient glaciers. Yet, these vantage points, like the famous Teufelsberg, are not natural formations. They are the Trümmerberg, the rubble mountains. After the devastation of the Second World War, nearly 1/3 of the city's buildings lay in ruins. Faced with an estimated 75 million cubic meters of debris, Berliners systematically cleared their streets, piling the remnants of their shattered capital into these colossal, man-made hills. This monumental feat of engineering speaks volumes about the city's psyche, a pragmatic and relentless drive to build a future, quite literally, upon the foundations of its own destruction. Today, covered in forests and crisscrossed with trails, these hills serve as parks and recreation areas, a quiet and profound memorial where the weight of history is not just a memory, but a physical presence beneath your feet, transformed from a symbol of loss into a landscape of life. Volterra doesn't rise from the Tuscan landscape. It commands it. Its story begins not with Rome, but with the Velathri of the Etruscans, nearly 3,000 years ago. They chose this commanding ridge for its strategic dominance, but discovered its true wealth lay just beneath their feet. Here, the earth yields a unique, translucent gypsum, alabaster, a stone that holds light like captured moonlight. This geological gift became the city's soul, a tradition of artistry passed down through millennia, from funerary urns to delicate modern sculptures. The very stone that formed their fortress also provided their livelihood, shaping a culture of profound resilience and refined craftsmanship. To walk its streets is to feel this immense weight of continuity, a dialogue between human ingenuity and the very ground on which it stands. Volterra is not merely a city on a hill. It is a city of its hill, a living testament to how geography can shape destiny. To truly understand Amsterdam, one must look beneath the cobblestones and placid canal waters. This entire city is an engineering marvel, a metropolis conjured from marshland and peat. In the 13th century, its founders faced an impossible challenge, building on ground that was essentially waterlogged sponge. Their ingenious solution was to drive millions of timber piles, some as long as 11 meters, deep through the mud to a stable layer of sand below. The royal palace alone rests on more than 13,000 of these wooden stilts. This subterranean forest is the city's unseen foundation, and over the centuries, as some piles have settled unevenly, they have given the canal houses their famous, precarious lean. It's a constant, quiet dialogue with the water, a testament not to a city fighting its environment, but one that has learned to dance with it, creating a precarious, enduring beauty that is entirely its own. To truly understand Hamburg, one must look below the surface, to its very foundations. Nowhere is this more apparent than in the Speicherstadt, the world's largest contiguous warehouse district. This sprawling city of red brick Gothic revival architecture doesn't rest on solid ground. but floats, in a sense, upon a hidden forest of over 3.5 million oak piles, driven deep into the marshy riverbed of the Elbe. This colossal feat of late 19th century engineering created a foundation stable enough to support the immense weight of coffee, spices, and carpets from across the globe. The result is a labyrinth of narrow canals, or fleet, crisscrossed by iron bridges, where the tide dictates the rhythm of life. It's a powerful testament to the city's Hanseatic spirit, a pragmatic, yet profoundly ambitious, drive to conquer the elements, not by fighting them, but by mastering their flow. Here, history is not just in the buildings, but built into the very ground beneath them. A story of a city founded on trade, resilience, and a deep, abiding pact with the water. To truly understand Lisbon, one must look beyond the maritime horizon and consider the very ground beneath its feet. The city's famous 7 hills are no mere poetic invention, but the visible crests of a landscape fractured by deep geological faults. This volatile foundation revealed its awesome power on All Saints' Day in 1755, when a catastrophic earthquake and subsequent tsunami reshaped the city's destiny in a matter of hours. In the aftermath, the rational, grid-like design of the Baixa district was imposed upon the flattened downtown, a triumph of Enlightenment planning over natural chaos. Yet, clinging to the more stable inclines, the old Alfama quarter survived, its labyrinthine alleys a living memory of the pre-quake city, its foundations holding firm. This constant, quiet dialogue between geological temperament and human resilience is Lisbon's defining narrative, a capital not merely perched upon hills, but forged in the crucible of the very forces that once sought to bring it down. Innsbruck exists in a state of dramatic compression, a vibrant imperial city cupped in the palm of the Alps. Its very location within this narrow valley, guarded by the sheer limestone face of the Nordkette Range, is a testament to human ambition. But nature here is more than just a backdrop. It is an active participant in the city's life. For over 500 years, residents have spoken of the Föhn, a warm, dry wind that can descend from the mountains with astonishing speed, raising temperatures by as much as 15 degrees Celsius in a matter of hours. This meteorological quirk, born from air forced over the Brenner Pass, brought an early spring to the Emperor's Gardens, but it also carried a strange electric tension, a phenomenon locals still call the Föhnkrankheit, or Föhn sickness. It's a powerful reminder that to live in Innsbruck is to be in a constant, intimate dialogue with the mountains, a relationship built on reverence, resilience, and an understanding of forces far older than any city wall. Copenhagen reveals its deepest secrets not on land, but on the water that weaves through its core. This city's very existence is owed to a strategic decision made in the year 1167, when a bishop named Absalon built a fortress on the unassuming islet of Slottsholmen, a bastion against pirates and a magnet for commerce. From this single act, a settlement grew, aptly named Købmandens Haven, the merchant's harbor. It's a name that defines its essence, a truth still reflected in the vibrant gables of Nyhavn, which once housed the very traders who gave the port its purpose. The canals are more than scenic waterways. They are the original arteries of a city built on trade, foresight, and a profound understanding of the sea. Today, that pragmatic spirit has evolved, flowing from historic waterways into the clean lines of modern Danish design, proving that the harbor's soul endures, forever shaping the life that flourishes along its banks. Rising from the Atlantic floor, Madeira is not merely an island, but the summit of a colossal shield volcano. born of fire some 5 million years ago. This violent geological past sculpted a landscape of breathtaking drama, but it also created a unique sanctuary. Here, clinging to the steep, mist-shrouded northern slopes and covering nearly 20% of the island, is the Laura Silva Forest. This is no ordinary woodland. It is a living relic from the Tertiary period, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and a type of subtropical forest that vanished from the European mainland during the last ice ages. Its survival here is a direct consequence of Madeira's isolation and its stable oceanic climate, which acted as a buffer against climatic extremes. To walk beneath its ancient canopy, among gnarled trees dripping with moss, is to experience a world that has otherwise been lost to time. A rare glimpse into the planet's deep past, meticulously preserved on this fortress of volcanic rock. To gaze upon Hallstatt is to see a perfect reflection, a storybook village mirrored in the tranquil waters of its lake. But the true narrative is not on the surface. It is buried deep within the colossal Dachstein Massif that holds the town in its embrace. For over 7,000 years, this mountain has been the source of a precious commodity, salt, the white gold, that gave this remote valley immense wealth and influence. This continuous mining operation funded an entire Iron Age civilization, the Hallstatt culture, whose artifacts reveal a sophisticated society that traded across Europe. The village itself is a direct consequence of this ancient industry, a vertical settlement clinging to the rock face because every flat piece of land was too valuable to spare. This scarcity of space even dictated how the dead were honored, leading to the creation of the Beinhaus, a chapel where over 1,200 painted skulls are stacked, a stark and poignant library of generations. What we see today is not merely a landscape of breathtaking beauty, but a testament to millennia of human ingenuity, shaped and constrained by the very geology that secured its prosperity. Ghent's skyline doesn't rise with the singular, monarchical focus of other European cities. Instead, it tells a story in triplicate. The three great towers that punctuate the horizon, St. Nicholas's Church, the Belfry, and St. Bavo's Cathedral, are more than just architectural landmarks. They are a physical manifestation of a medieval power-sharing pact, a rare balance struck between distinct forces. St. Nicholas's stood for the wealth of the merchants and guilds, its construction funded by their commercial might. The central belfry, with its proud dragon watching over the city, symbolized the hard-won civic freedoms of the Gentenaar themselves, and St. Bavo's represented the undeniable influence of the clergy. This trinity of stone, built in close, almost competitive proximity, reveals the soul of Ghent, a city founded not on the singular decree of a king or a bishop, but on a complex, often fraught, collaboration between commerce, citizenry, and church. It is a legacy of defiant independence, etched against the Flemish sky for nearly 800 years. To truly understand Cuenca, one must look not at its streets, but over its edges. Here, perched on the precipice between the Yúcar and Huecar river gorges, the city's medieval architects faced a stark choice: build into the rock or hang over the void. The iconic casas colgadas, or hanging houses, were not a stylistic whim, but a brilliant vertical solution to a problem of space and defense, with their wooden balconies cantilevered directly over the sheer cliff face. This logic extends throughout the old town, a labyrinth of narrow lanes and steep ascents that suddenly open onto breathtaking views of the chasm below. The city itself is a fortress, sculpted over the course of 900 years by both human hands and the patient erosion of limestone over countless millennia. It is a place defined by this constant, quiet dialogue between ingenuity and geology, a city that doesn't just occupy a landscape, but is fundamentally shaped by its dramatic contours. To truly understand Girona, one must look closer, past the grand narratives of sieges and kings, to the very ground it stands on. The city's enduring, honeyed glow is no accident of time, but a deliberate choice of a single, remarkable material, the Pedra de Girona. This is not mere sandstone, but a dense nummulitic limestone, a sedimentary rock literally teeming with the fossilized remains of coin-shaped marine organisms that lived here 40 million years ago. Look closely at the walls of the great cathedral, or the ancient defensive ramparts, and you can still trace the delicate spiral patterns of these creatures, embedded for eternity. For over 2,000 years, builders have quarried this stone from the nearby hills, a landscape carved and defined by the confluence of 4 separate rivers. It means the entire Barry Vale, from its soaring basilicas to its most humble cobblestones, is constructed from a single, unified geological story. The city is built not just on the land, but of it, a living museum where touching a wall connects you not only to its medieval masons, but to an Eocene sea that vanished long before humanity began. To truly understand Barcelona, one must look beyond the labyrinth of its Gothic heart and see the city as its 19th century visionaries did, from above. Here, the Example District unfolds not as a simple grid, but as a breathtakingly ambitious blueprint for modern living. Conceived by urban planner Ildefons Cerdà in 1859, this was a radical social project disguised as a street plan. He saw the city as an organism in need of light and air, designing each octagonal block with chamfered corners not merely for elegance, but to improve visibility for the era's new steam trams and to create sun-drenched public spaces at every intersection. Walking these broad avenues today, you feel his legacy. This ordered, egalitarian expanse was a direct response to the dense, disease-ridden conditions of the old walled city, a testament to a belief that thoughtful design could fundamentally improve human existence. It remains one of the most successful and beautiful urban experiments ever realized. Ostuni, perched high above the olive plains of Puglia, is universally known as La Città Bianca, the White City. But this brilliant, almost blinding whiteness is not merely an aesthetic choice. It is a legacy of survival. During the Great Plagues of the 17th century, the town's inhabitants began systematically coating their homes in a thick lime wash. The antibacterial properties of the quicklime were believed to be a potent disinfectant, a desperate measure to ward off the contagion that swept through the region. This practice, born from necessity, transformed the city's very fabric. The lime wash clings to the porous local stone, creating a seamless, organic architecture that spills down its three hills. In the fierce southern Italian sun, the whitewashed walls reflect the light, turning the labyrinthine alleyways into dazzling corridors of stone and shadow. A stark and beautiful defense not just against disease, but also against the relentless heat. What began as a public health decree has since become Ostuni's defining visual signature, a testament to how a community's historic resilience can unintentionally sculpt an identity of enduring and breathtaking beauty. Perugia commands its landscape, a citadel of Etruscan stone and medieval brick, rising from the green heart of Umbria. Yet, to truly grasp its complex character, one must descend into the city's very foundations. Here lies the Rocca Paolina, a startling subterranean world that is not merely a fortress, but an entire medieval quarter deliberately entombed in the mid-16th century. Built by Pope Paul III with the salt-dusted stones of vanquished family towers, it was a definitive and brutal symbol of papal subjugation, following a local rebellion. Today, a network of escalators glides silently through these ghostly streets and vaulted halls, a surreal ascent through a city buried to break the will of its people. Emerging into the sunlight of the modern Piazza Italia feels like a form of time travel, having journeyed through more than 500 years of layered, often conflicted history. It is a profound, visceral reminder that in Perugia, the past is not simply remembered, it is the bedrock, both literal and metaphorical, upon which the present is built. A story of power and resilience etched into the very ground beneath your feet. The Danube doesn't merely divide Budapest. It sets the stage for its profound dual identity, a narrative written in stone and soil long before any human settlement. This division is more than political. It's a matter of geological destiny. To the west, the rolling dolomite and limestone hills of Buda provided a natural fortress, a strategic high ground crowned by a castle for kings and conquerors, its winding streets shaped by the contours of the land itself. To the east, the vast, flat alluvial plain of Pest offered a blank canvas for commerce, culture, and the grand, geometric boulevards of a burgeoning 19th century empire. While the two cities, along with Obuda, were officially unified in 1873, their distinct characters remain etched into the landscape. The iconic bridges that span the water are therefore more than feats of engineering. They are the steel sinews binding two fundamentally different worlds, connecting not just opposite banks, but opposing topographies and divergent histories into the singular, complex urban tapestry that is modern Budapest. To see Frankfurt today is to witness two cities in one, a place forged in a profound act of self-recreation. The firestorms of March 1944 were an almost absolute erasure. Over 90% of its medieval core, a dense and treasured labyrinth of more than 1,000 half-timbered houses, was reduced to ash and rubble in a single night. From these ruins, modern Frankfurt rose not with a single vision, but as a deliberate duality. Here, on the Römerberg Square, the old world was painstakingly resurrected, its iconic gabled facades a near archaeological testament to a civic identity too precious to lose. Yet, just steps away, the glass and steel towers of the financial district, the engine of Germany's post-war economic miracle, soared into the sky, embracing a future of global commerce. This is not a city of simple contradictions, but of conscious, difficult choices. It is a landscape that reveals a deeper truth about resilience, that to truly move forward, a culture must decide not only what to build, but precisely what it is unwilling to forget. To the untrained eye, the Langi is a masterpiece of agricultural sculpture, a sea of vineyards flowing over perfectly contoured hills. But these slopes are not the work of man alone, nor are they ancient mountains worn by time. They are, in fact, the floor of a primeval sea. As recently as 5 million years ago, during the Miocene epoch, this entire basin was submerged, and the layers of calcareous marl and sandstone that now define its character were laid down on the seabed. Even today, a walk through a vineyard can unearth fossilized shells, tangible relics of a forgotten ocean. This marine legacy is the secret to the region's profound agricultural identity. The specific composition of these soils, the compact Tortonian marls in the west, and the sandier Serravaglian soils in the east, creates a terroir of unparalleled complexity, the ideal, mineral-rich cradle for the demanding Nebbiolo grape. When you look out across this landscape, you are not merely seeing hillsides. You are witnessing a geological narrative where the memory of the sea is captured, transformed, and ultimately expressed in every glass of its celebrated wine. To truly understand Mallorca, one must look to the mountains. The Serra de Tramuntana, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, presents a formidable silhouette against the azure sky, its jagged limestone peaks appearing as the island's raw, skeletal core. These are not gentle hills, but a dramatic spine of rock, weathered by millennia of wind and sea spray. Geologically, this is not an isolated range, but the northernmost reach of the Baetic Cordillera, an immense alpine system that surged from the seabed millions of years ago in a colossal tectonic collision. For centuries, this challenging, near-impenetrable terrain dictated life, isolating communities and rendering large-scale agriculture a near impossibility, until the arrival of the Moors in the 10th century. With a perspective honed in arid lands, they saw not an insurmountable obstacle, but a profound opportunity locked within the porous rock. Harnessing ancient Persian knowledge of hydrology, they engineered a sophisticated and near-invisible network of canals, subterranean aqueducts, that tapped into the mountain's natural aquifers, channeling precious, life-giving water silently and efficiently through the earth by gravity alone. This ingenuity gave birth to the iconic terrace landscapes, the bancales, that cascade down the mountainsides like green stairways to the sea, transforming once barren valleys into verdant gardens, lush with groves of oranges, lemons, and ancient olive trees. To truly understand Portugal, one must begin here, in Guimarães. This is not mere sentiment, but a historical imperative etched into the city's very stones, earning it the title, the cradle of the nation. It was on these grounds that the idea of Portugal was forged in steel and ambition. On the 24th of June, 1128, the Battle of São Mamede decided the fate of the fledgling county, with the victory of Afonso Henriques paving the way for his proclamation as the first king. The formidable 10th century castle, a granite sentinel on the hill, stands as a direct witness, its robust walls guarding the origin story of a country. Just below, the palace of the Dukes of Braganza offers a glimpse into the aristocratic life that followed, its distinctive brick chimneys a stark contrast to the castle's martial austerity. This potent historical nucleus is why the entire Old Town is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a living museum where the weight of a nation's birth is not a distant memory, but a palpable presence in the air itself. The name itself, Salzburg, or Salt Fortress, whispers the secret to its story. Long before its skyline was defined by Baroque domes and spires, its destiny was being carved from the deep earth. Celtic miners, delving into the Durnberg mountain more than 2,500 years ago, began extracting the precious white gold, a mineral so vital for preserving food and life that it became the very bedrock of a formidable power. For centuries, the city's sovereign prince-archbishops, wielding both crozier and sword, shrewdly monopolized this lucrative salt trade. They transformed the Salzach River from a simple scenic waterway into a vital commercial artery, a liquid highway upon which barges laden with crystalline treasure floated their wealth across Europe. The immense profits